Fine and there once was a podcast in the great internet of internets. It was called Fine and Dandy. Muy influential podcast. You have to remember, folks, where there's a podcast, there's a Fine and Dandy.
Hey, whoa. Okay. I say keep that up, and then you stop.
Oh, it's because I didn't hear you. Nah, I'm not feeling it.
Oh, you piece of shit.
I'm not feeling it. I'm feeling it, but I'm not feeling it, if you feel me. Welcome to Fine and Dandy, everybody. This is your host, Josh Marino. And
Nah, dude, run it back.
Run what back? What are
Run
we
it
running
back.
What are we running
Hit it for
back?
the people.
Well, who are the people?
All of the people.
What are we
We the
talking
people.
about here?
You should run it back, dude.
What are we running back, Dan?
Hey, Josh was running a little musical number here right before this. It was pretty good. Yeah, I'll give it.
Boom, 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 boom.
Let's get it started. Let's get it started.
He was like, if he's
Let's
not gonna
get
do
it
it, then I'm gonna do
started
it.
in here.
Because I'm gonna
Let's
do
get-
it, and he's gonna do
In front of a live studio audience.
it. Two dogs
Let's
and
get it started in here.
a whole lot of a mess all over this apartment.
Yeah, that's the beauty of having dogs is cleaning and then them destroying it.
Yeah, well, I mean, they destroy shit no matter what, whether you clean or not.
Oh yeah, it's a cycle. All right, thank you guys for tuning in to another week of Fine and Dandy with our official sponsor, Doofles. I'm kidding, it's not. Don't sue us, Doofles. I
No.
don't even know if they're in business anymore. I don't know what the deal is with that. Reach out, Doofles, if
Yeah,
y'all
we
are
wanna-
listening to this.
We want our first podcast advertisement,
Yeah.
or
And we
what
want
is
it to be Doofles. It'd be awesome.
Subscribers,
What
no,
do you mean
subscribers.
sponsor?
Sponsor.
There you go, that's
the
the
word I
word.
was looking for.
You are listening to the first, not the first. You're listening to the best unofficial official podcast.
You're listening to the best unofficial official podcast that includes any and all Doofles bags. We got that market, that niche market. We got that locked up and sealed. It's ours.
Yeah, dude. No one else can do it. You hear that?
They could try, but
It's
it
us.
wouldn't be as good.
We're Doofles.
'cause,
We're
you know,
one.
Doofles is on the show every week.
Thank you, Doofles.
He's a proud supporter of the Red Pill movement.
Nah, we don't support. We don't. Nah, we don't.
No, I know we don't. Doofles is on another level. That's why he's on the wall. Because if he was off the wall, things would be
You
a
could
little
say he's-
haywire.
You could say he's hung up on some things. Am I right?
He's pretty hung up on some things.
Y'all got it. Y'all knew it.
If he was off the wall, it'd be a little haywire in
You could
here.
call him-
Shout out to Vans.
I was gonna say call him Vans, dude. Dude's off the wall, but he's not, dude.
He's on the wall.
He's more like a painting.
He's if a fly on the wall, if you will, but much bigger than a fly. He is fly on the wall. Look at him. He's purple with all that blue and yellow and pink going on, dude. Killing it. Doofles.
Reminds me of like a little kid's like light up shoe.
Oh, dude. I wish I had light up shoes when I was growing up. Them hoes seemed cool.
You know what I always wished I had? Heelys, bro.
Dude, same.
I wish-
I knew you were gonna say that. Same.
I never had Heelys. I had some light up Skechers once upon a time, but I never had the Heelys.
I never had the Heelys.
not gonna lie, I
either.
hated
I probably
'em.
would have busted my ass a few times with them hoes,
Yeah.
but also
Looking
Never had
back
any.
on it, I wish I had them, but like at the time, I was like, those are fucking stupid.
they seemed very stupid. But I feel like that was because of the commercials that they would have.
I
you
also
know?
think it's just like when you're in school and you see a kid healing around in the hallways, you're like, I don't want to be that guy.
I mean, you don't want to be that guy because that guy gets beat up.
I mean,
but
honestly, still looking at kids healing through like the mall, I'm like, I don't, why? Like this is, but it is kind of,
I don't know.
it's kind of cool because they do like a little sprint and they're just gliding after that.
I think it's much less stupid than like seeing a kid on a ripstick. Just
Oh, ripsticks were so much fun, but also the dumbest shit. Why am I like? It's like a hoverboard, but you had to work for it.
Right.
You gotta like. It's funny because some kids are like, "How do you do it, dude? You just wiggle the body. That's all it."
And shit, and then you have those the new scooter like hoverboard type shit.
Our ripsticks, but it's a scooter.
No,
Oh.
like the new ones that like Brad had one.
You
for a
talking about
while.
the like? Oh, you talking about the like the one that you?
One
the,
that you,
uh,
yeah,
K-
it's hard to describe.
No, I was gonna say the
one
one-
you could go back.
I
and
was gonna say
forth
the
with. I
one
was like,
Caleb
wait, you
busted
gotta
his
do
ass
that.
on. Yeah,
Yes, that
he
one.
had it going too.
I was like, it's kind of hard to describe. It's like I was gonna
No, I
say
know
the
it-
one you
every-
can go back and forth with.
Yeah.
but you could kind of do that with anything.
Yeah, but it's like electronically
Yeah,
battery powered maybe. It's battery
Regardless.
powered.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that shit was
Um,
funny. He busted his ass.
But
Hey, if
shit,
you're
you
drunk,
had-
you should not get on those. I
you
I'd
had
advise
fucking,
against
like,
it.
Wild ass people on the top of like skyscrapers going up to the edge with that bitch, like. and then backing up,
I would
like,
fall. Knowing me, I'm
instantly-
flying off of that building.
instantly I'm flying off. I don't trust my fucking reflexes.
I'm done. It's over for me.
Stop right there at the edge.
I would
Fuck
never.
that.
I would
dude.
never do that. I used to do this thing called Ripstick Wars.
I'm sorry. Would you hit someone with a ripstick, or would you like ride on ripsticks like in a jousting situation where?
Close. It's actually way more cringe than that. You would start at opposite. It was a cul-de-sac. One person would start one end of the cul-de-sac, the other person, and then you just catch as much speed. It's like wrestling, but you're on the ripstick. You just like grab on each other's shoulders. And with all the wrist
It's
sticks.
like chicken, first one to fall off loses.
Yeah. Exactly like that. So you gain speed, just, you're like on the wrist stick trying to keep balance, and you're like,
I got you.
start choking them because you get mad. Nah, that never happened. I'm kidding. I wish you were dead too. Not that he's dead or anything.
Dude, I remember like neighborhood shit. Like I honestly I'd never like really lived in a neighborhood. I lived in a neighborhood for like 2 years, but I always lived off of like a main road type shit. I had neighbors, but it wasn't much of a neighborhood.
Yeah, I lived in I grew up super poor up until the 6th or 7th grade, and I moved into a middle class neighborhood. I made it.
We're out here.
I'm rich. Like, you know what I mean? Like the basic ass neighborhood. Not even like
Right.
one of the. It's Bay Colony.
It's like starter level.
Yeah,
type
I mean
shit.
for anyone who that watches probably already knows. But like there's in Dickinson, there's a actually like a few of neighborhoods based around Bay Colony.
Right.
And honestly,
Really, there are a few.
yeah, there's a few different divisions.
I mean, honestly, just watch.
It's funny saying that like it's a division. It's just like
subdivision.
this subdivision of the neighborhood.
That is
It's
true.
kind of weird. It's like that's the name, but when you think about it, that's a funny way to put it.
I mean, honestly, whenever
We're
you
divided. Your division is not my division.
whenever you see a subdivision on a map, it looks kind of crazy. Like you just see like this one
It's a
plot
network
of
of
land
just
and
fucking-
like
yeah.
just all of these houses that connect by like these roads and shit. It just looks wild. But
Yeah,
Nah,
they're like the most
um,
basic middle class, like lower middle class
I mean,
houses.
if you want to know which area of town we're talking about, just watch that Killing Fields documentary they just dropped on Netflix. It's actually
Came
like
out a long time ago, I think.
No,
They did drop another one.
Yeah, a recent one.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
There was a movie that came out a long
Yeah,
time.
that movie came out a
It's
while
kind of
ago.
ass.
Yeah, there was a pretty recent documentary talking about it. But yeah, we grew up pretty close to that
Yeah.
killing shit.
I mean, I think they were done by then. They retired.
Oh yeah,
They
no,
were
this
tight.
was in the 80s, I think,
It was
70s.
before
maybe?
that, mate,
Was
right?
it? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's
Not part of the story.
Yeah, it's Yeah, no, growing up so I still kind of grew up around kids because, let's see, I grew up on like a street. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
You remember the ones by the high school? Like
Mhm.
it's like they're all named like numbers. So you got like
Right.
36, 35th, 34.
20. Oh, it's like 20.
It's a bunch of just just numbers and shit. Yeah, I grew up there, so you just like go streets down and hang out.
Yeah.
It's crazy. There was a kid that got like hit and run while I was living. Like I was a
Damn.
younger kid, dude. Like, oh, you see
Like
like the
playing in
life
the
fight and
streets
shit. Where
type
like
shit?
every kids we grabbed our bikes and when you ride down to the incident, dude,
Damn.
like just a thing of blood on the street. You're like, holy shit, this is
Died?
nuts. Nah, the kid
Oh.
survived.
That's good.
It's crazy growing up on streets like that because they're all so close and all the houses
you
are
are
kind of
kinda
close.
connected. I
Everything's
don't know though. Like I feel
because
like
you're like gonna go a few streets down just to chill and
the
shit.
people are less connected nowadays. Like even in small communities,
I
like
mean,
there
it's
there are like
a lot of
your-
weirdos out there now. I feel like
there
more
are your
almost.
neighborhood watches and your like community like conventions that people put together, but like I feel like people used to be closer to their neighborhood than they are now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie though. So I mean, so I was gonna say I grew up like. Yeah, so I grew up on that street until I was probably like second grade. Then I lived in some apartments for a little. I lived in a house then, and I lived in some apartments on like Dietz Road. Like where they got like Dickinson Pines, Dickinson Oaks. I think they rebranded it to Hollister Apartments or some shit. I don't know. It's
Doesn't
completely
matter.
different ones. Yeah. So I lived there for a little bit, and like of course you have kids. You're in an apartment complex. You have kids, and then I lived in a trailer park for a little bit, which is on like a long road, and then basically there was a bunch of kids there too. You know what I mean? There was like one. It was like it was a weird because it was subdivision too. It was like really shitty ones though. But like down the street there was more that was like the same business that owned ours. They were all really really shitty. But it's like when I moved into the neighborhood, bro. Kids play is completely different, dude. It's like kids in the subdivision. It's like are completely different than the kids you grew up like on the street. It's a completely different vibe. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, not like so much different, but yeah, it definitely was.
Yeah, I mean for me, like I had friends in, so that's what I'm saying. Like I didn't really live in a neighborhood per se, but like there was people, like basically because I lived close to the schools, I would be able to see like friends after school before I walked home, or people would just come over after school and shit like that. So like the neighborhood was kind of like whoever wanted to hang out type shit after school and shit like that.
Yeah, you lived
But-
right across the street, especially in middle school.
Yeah,
So-
and so for me, like I kind of didn't have like that community as like, hey, like we're gonna ride the bus home together and fucking walk to the house and just like hang out in the streets and shit like that. But it was more of like, hey, if you guys have a ride later, you guys can come over and we can play some basketball or some video games or some shit. You know what I mean? But
Neighborhoods are
this was
weird.
before like cars and shit like that. This was like, make sure your mom's coming later because I don't want my mom to have to take you home.
Yeah, that was what was cool about Bay Colony though. Is like everything, like the neighborhood subdivisions were all kind of close. You ride your bike everywhere. You could ride your bike. You literally just rode your bike everywhere across the street. Like it'd be like a couple miles down. You're riding that shit all the way around the neighborhood to get wherever you need to go. Ripstick there if that's what
Right.
you're vibing with. I wouldn't ripstick far, but if that was your vibe. It's kind of crazy thinking back to it though. What kids were in your neighborhood, you basically hung out with like all those kids.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, depending. If you were social, if you weren't social, you probably did not want to go outside at all.
That's also true.
But for the most part, you're like, who lives in my neighborhood? Oh shit, I'm gonna hang out with you all the time. I have no choice because I can't go anywhere. I can only go really as far as my bicycle.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not gonna take huge ass bicycle rides.
Well, cause like I don't know about you, but like for me, I had that like transition of going from elementary to middle school and really not knowing like anybody at middle school. Cause like the people that like I went to elementary school, I feel like everyone that went to like Bay Colony and Silvernagle were like kind of like had their shit like that. But everybody that was from Hughes Road, I feel like was kind of like segregated, not necessarily, just like we didn't know as many people like at all. Like we knew each other and then we like tried to fit in with other groups and shit like that. But I remember, so like in December at like a few months after the school year started in 5th grade, we moved to Bay Colony. So then now all of a sudden I'm on the bus with all these kids from my school. They live near me. They're in my community and shit like that, but I don't know any of them. And they all have these like years long connections because they've all lived near each other for so long, playing in the streets and shit like that. That was such a weird experience for me, like trying to like kind of navigate those waters.
That is weird. I mean, I grew up and I moved quite a bit until probably like 6th grade when I moved to that house in Bay Colony, and I was there pretty much till I graduated high school. But before that, I moved down a lot. There was that point I lived in Green Cay, and then I would hang out with uh, like Jacob and Cecilio. They lived like down the street, so I'd go
Right.
hang out with them, and then whoever's in Green Cay, you know what I mean? You hanging out with all the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone's different ages too. Like half those, like dude, kids way older than you, kids way younger than you, dude. Everyone's kind of mischievous. Not everyone, dude. Honestly, is really life. Like thinking back to it, like being a kid was weird. Just like when you move around a lot and you just hang out with like all those kids, dude. Like all the different personalities. Knowing where they're at now, because I like to this day, I still kind of like
Interact with some of these
yeah,
people.
like a good actually surprisingly a good portion. Relatively, you know, like statistically speaking, you usually don't, but
Mm-hmm.
still a fair amount, and it's just crazy. Like thinking about how we were as kids and how kids just interact with each other. Like
Right.
kids are fucking vile, dude.
Yeah, I mean, not just like I
Dude,
don't know.
very,
it's
like-
hard because it's like you want to say like kids are vile, but it's like also it's a like a
Adults are like
combination.
that too, though.
But it's like kids are kind of similarly, not completely, a reflection of their parents or the adults that were around them when they were growing up. So it's not as much blaming the kid for being vile, but blaming maybe the environment that created the vileness that they're. Because not all kids are vile. I mean, you have your kids that are the people getting bullied, not the bullies type shit. And
Yeah, I'd also say that like I was so used to just being around so many different people. You're able to like hold your own. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Even if that doesn't mean fighting. Like I was never a fighter,
Right.
but like regardless, like if someone says some shit, you're able to like nah, I'm not gonna take that. However,
Right.
whichever way, like you learn kind of like how to mesh within this like
right,
system that is children within whatever different group that you're.
right.
But that's the thing that's weird is as I'm
You
saying,
also- yeah,
like
well,
kids in
sorry.
general, like they've kind of work within each other, and they figure out who they like and who they don't. And I don't know, the scale of what that is different, you know, for every area.
Yeah.
And that is so wild to me.
I mean, it is because it's like it's entirely unpredictable. Like it could be based off of your childhood. It could be based off of like honestly, it could go in either way. Like when you're talking about like just like your childhood alone, like whether or not you like what your parents did for a living. If you saw your dad being an astronaut, that could lead you either wanting to become an astronaut or wanting nothing to do with astronomy whatsoever. And why is that? It's not because of the job. It's not because of the father. It's because of your perspective on that job or your perspective on what that job did to your father or what that job meant for your relationship with your like all these like factors come into you now have a perspective that's built on a lot of shit that you kind of can't control. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's weird too how kids will decipher where you are on whatever spectrum of the popularity scale, what kind of where you lie on that totem pole. Because one kid could be the shy but smart, also like somewhat popular kid. You move that kid to a different environment, it's the weird
It's
kid, you know?
It's the popular kid from high school that nobody knows at college.
Well, that
Like,
could be it too. Yeah,
You're kind of used to this like feeling of like, hey, there goes Tommy. That's Tommy. That's number 24 for our football team right there.
but I'm saying it could be that you just anybody. There's people I knew that just they weren't necessarily the most social, but they got along with everybody. You know what I mean? They were just very just very kind people.
Right.
But those same people might not thrive. I think it's also if you grow up with a certain amount of people over time, people get to know you, they
Yeah.
get comfortable with you. You move to a certain area. People hate change. People hate change. They hate new shit. If
Well, I don't know if it's
we're,
about like
we're animals
hate.
too, so
I don't know
you
if it's about hate. It's more like like people are afraid of change. It's not like a hatred. You know what I mean?
think it's a natural instinct.
It's maybe. I mean, I think it's just like the fear of the unknown. You know what I mean? Like, this is comfortable. This is okay. Even if it's a bad situation, you can talk yourself into a bad situation being okay because you really don't know what else is out there. And that not knowing could lead you down a path of thought saying, well, I got to keep working this job because I don't think I can get another one. Well, you're not applying for any. You're not putting your resume together. You're not working towards anything. You're just telling yourself that you can't get another one. So therefore, you won't even try and therefore get another one. But it's not that you actually can't. It's that you're kind of blocking your own blessings at that point, trying to say you want this, but stepping in front of your own way at that point. And that's
I mean, I think also just in groups. It's not even just kids. I mean, adults do it too. For instance, where I work, when I first started, I mean, most of the people who had been there a while are actually pretty welcoming overall. Easy to talk to, get to know them pretty fast. Like, they weren't rude or anything.
Right.
I mean, that helps you acclimate to your environment a lot better, and helps build a community in which like everyone's a little bit more sociable, one's a little bit more friendly, you get along with people. A lot of those people left. And I'm like, I'll say I kind of I contributed to the way that it is now a little bit, in the sense that I'm not I'm social, and to an extent it takes me time to get to know people. I'm not the person that's going to extend my hand out first. I wish I was a little bit better at that. Hey, how are you? My name's so and so. I'm not that person. I'm not the first person to go out and just, hey.
I'm like halfway that person. Like
You're better at it than I am.
I'm that person, but I'm not always entirely intrigued. Sometimes it's just to make conversation and to like kind of keep things not silent, because I have a little bit of ADHD and shit like that
Yeah.
on those moments. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel what you're saying. I think it is a little bit difficult to navigate, because you do have these comfortabilities in certain conversations, so you could think that like you're coming off one way because you're so used, like if between you and I, like our cadences, we're so used to each other at this point. I don't know how I come off to you other people, because I'm used to coming off the way that I come off to you type shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like could be in a conversation with Shelby, or in a conversation with Lexi, or someone else that is, I could be trying to have that same cadence, and it wouldn't work the same way, because it's a different person, different type shit.
Yeah. Also, where I was going is just, when newer people come in now, like when I started, people were a lot more welcoming. Now new people come in. There was at one point so many just new people coming in. It just got to a point where most of us, how long is this person gonna last? Type of thing. Just like
turnaround time.
Whatever. And
I don't want to put energy into this relationship, because either I or you will not be here.
It doesn't matter.
Shit.
So I mean, that kind of changed the environment, and just it's that you see a new person and everyone's kind of looking at you, trying to decipher what kind of person you're going to be. Are you going to be a good worker? Are you going to be good for the team? Is your attitude going to suck? Yeah, what is it? And I think that also is, any new. But I mean, adults can be like this too, but also kids tend to be a little bit more up this alley. Is, when a new kid comes around or whatever, for some reason it's, I'm going to give you shit, kid. I don't know what you're about or who you are, Slim.
I never got what that is. It's not even like always like older people or adults. It's sometimes just people that feel like they've been at that job longer than they should have been or want to have been. It could easily just be someone having a bad day and looking at you smiling.
I'm saying just most of like groups. So that's what I'm saying. It's like with kids too. It's just, it doesn't matter. And not just jobs, just in general. Whenever you are already kind of established wherever you're at, you're used to the people around you. Something new kind of comes into that and shifts the attention, and everyone's kind of curious. And it's weird how like your position in whatever. Wherever you're at on that scale can instantly change, which is why also some people start to be assholes, because they see this new person come in and they're getting attention, people like them, and maybe your position was, hey, I was the guy that everyone, whatever, and then
it's not a perfect analogy, but it's something that like I would like. This is making me think of is like when you're sitting at a blackjack table and everyone at the table is winning money, right? The house is losing, everyone's up. No one at that table wants anybody to get up, and they don't want anyone new to sit down. They want the same energy to keep flowing the way that it's been going. They don't want anyone to switch seats. They want the same shit to keep going because they've been winning money. Like, it's a superstition thing.
Oh, yeah.
But it is like kind of the same thing we're talking
Someone
about.
can sit down, completely shift everything.
If something's going completely comfortable, then anyone getting up from this or sitting down to this and adding themselves into it could completely fuck up all of our hands and turn the tables into the house's favor type shit. Like whenever they told me that, I was like, I'll stay here for another 3 hours. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, nah. Growing up in those situations, definitely, it gives you a lot of insight, a lot of perspective, into just people in general. Because every kid's different, every person's different. I'm not gonna say I was the best person. I'd say I fell somewhere in between, generous and an asshole.
That's
We-
that's a
I
good
was-
place to be though.
I definitely fell somewhere in the middle.
Good
100%.
place to be.
I
mean,
caused mischief, but also at the same time I was friendly.
Yeah, I mean,
But also could have been still a dickhead at times as well.
in my opinion, I mean, like, it's hard. I mean, 'cause you're talking about like your childhood. So, I mean, if you're listening to this, you have to at least be willing to date it. If whatever you're hearing is like, well, I wouldn't let my kids do that. It's like, well, you're not listening because obviously we live 20 years later from what we're talking about right now. And times have changed. Society has changed. We live in a different world now. So if you're unwilling to date this conversation and say, I don't want my kids in the street running around with their bikes and seeing someone's blood on the street, it's like, well, yeah, I get why you don't. But it was still a fucking memorable experience, and you probably will never forget that shit.
We were bad kids.
You were experiencing life.
Yeah.
What does being bad mean?
That's-
you weren't hurting anyone.
Yeah, we
You
weren't. We
might
weren't.
have been committing some petty crimes.
That's
but
probably more so. along
even
the
that
lines of
is
what-
like almost expected of young males. I feel like specifically, not to bring gender back into the conversation, but like specifically speaking, I feel like young males tend to get into some mischievous law breaking shit for the most part. Not everyone. I get there's exceptions to the rule, but I think that the tendency probably leans that way.
Yeah, definitely pushing some boundaries. I definitely always knew somewhat of where to draw the line to an extent. There was definitely times where there was definitely not, that was dumb. Should not have done that. Should have moved past that.
Yeah.
It wasn't not the smartest decisions, but overall, yeah, you're
we
right.
all have those.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. I think that's another thing is like whenever you do grow up, you're like, you remember when we were kids. It's hard to kind of remember that. You get caught up in all this, like, you shouldn't be doing that. Then you think back, damn,
I did know I shouldn't have been doing that.
I was you're telling your kids, hey, you
yeah.
shouldn't be doing that. That's wrong. Like, you're like really frustrated and
You're sitting
angry.
there like, I am a hypocrite.
Yeah. What am I? Oh shit! I was doing that. You're talking to your parents or whatever, maybe in the scenario, and
You're like, that's wrong.
then you're. Yeah. Or you're just like, angry, you're frustrated, and then your parents have to tell you, do you not remember what you made us?
This
do you,
is light.
do you remember what you had us doing? You were way worse, and you're
This,
sitting there,
this is light
shit.
as fuck.
You're like, oh, fuck, maybe you're right. Maybe I should, and then should I apologize to my kids?
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, I had the conversation with my pops the other day. Yeah, it was my pops. Telling him like I'm not. Basically, it was like a kind of a heated conversation, and it came into like the point of view of him saying like, "Well, you'll understand one day when you have kids." I was like, "Well, what if I don't have kids? Why don't you just tell me so I can understand now?" He was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "I mean, if I don't have kids, then I'll never understand what you're talking about." So either one, you can make your point, or two, we're just gonna sit in this neverland of your point, maybe never landing.
Damn, that is so insane, though. Back in the day, that's something you would tell somebody, you'll understand one day when you have kids. I was like, yes. Nowadays,
And if I don't,
nowadays you tell someone that, and I don't want fucking. Ew.
and if I don't, so maybe we could just have the conversation we were already having.
Yeah. I don't want kids, Dad. That's too damn bad.
That's too damn
I'm tired of
bad.
this, Grandpa. Shit, that shit is. Real quick, I know this is changing the subject pretty fast, but I had to give this shout out, dude. Shouts out to mycelium. I had to.
Mycelium,
Mycelium.
not his celium.
It was just on my mind. I get it out.
Mycelium.
Dude, I know this wasn't a smooth transition here, but it just,
Not my florium, mycelium.
dude, fantastic fungi on Netflix though.
Yes.
Y'all gotta watch it. It's about mushrooms, but like not just like. Of course they do touch. I mean, you can't have a conversation about mushrooms without talking about psychedelics mushrooms. It's almost a tragedy if you don't, because I mean that's probably one of the biggest.
I mean, it's more agenda based if you don't. Like, there's a reason you left that out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean that's important, but it talks about all the different types of fungi.
Put 'em up.
Talks about how fungi is the oldest, one of the oldest organisms on the planet Earth. All the different benefits of fungi, the things that they can help with. Honestly, blew my fucking mind. I'm sorry. It was insane, dude, and it made me think: are we mushrooms?
We are mushrooms.
We're all mushrooms, dude.
You heard it here first.
Mushrooms spreading our spores.
When the science finally comes out to prove it, you'll have heard it here first.
Mycelium.
Mycelium.
Not your celium, mycelium.
No, mycelium.
Dude, instead of my veins are filled with ice, dude, because I'm so cold.
They're
Veins,
filled with mice.
they're filled with mycelium,
You
dude.
got rats in your arms.
They're filled with mice, dude. Mice in my veins, dude. Mycelium, dude.
Is that what Of Mice and Men is about?
What's mycelium?
Of
or mice in my veins?
mycelium and men.
Dude, that would be a good. Honestly, someone should make a cover
Is that a
band.
good take?
There should be a cover band called Mycelium of Mycelium and Men, and it's just a cover band. Well, not even a cover band. They just do fungi parodies.
Three blind mycelium.
The three blind myceliums. Honestly, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna hop on this train. I'm gonna dive into a hole.
Mice baby.
Mycelium, baby. Look, I'm gonna dive into this hole
Vanilla
of
mycelium.
mushrooms. I want to dive deep into this hole of mushrooms to a point where
We
everyone
should dive into
everyone
that
does-
hole on mushrooms.
everyone wonders if I'm okay.
No, they're gonna wonder why you're not a mushroom.
Yeah, I'm gonna level up.
And then you'll have to tell them, well, that's crazy because I am a
I
mushroom.
am a mushroom.
And this is my mycelium. Feel my spores.
My favorite part of that documentary, I mean, all the scientific facts were super cool. The end
The
was definitely
visuals
got
were
crazy.
insane.
They didn't have to throw the crazy visuals
The
in there.
visuals
Honestly, they were
crazy. I
throwing.
kind of want to watch it again just for.
They
the
were
visuals.
throwing some wild, like, if you going back and thinking about it, they were talking about some scientific facts and just giving you the trippy.
I was just off of fucking so many edibles, just sitting there like, holy fucking shit! I wish I was on mushrooms right now.
Dude, they honestly they killed it. That documentary was sick, but it was
It
funny
went
because he was
nuts.
giving a speech. Like, this guy's a scientist, and he gives TED.
Paul
He did a TED
Stamets.
talk.
Or wait, was it Paul Stamets that you're talking about?
Yeah,
or
yeah,
was
yeah.
it Michael Pollan?
No,
you're
no,
talking
no,
about?
no, it was
Not
Paul.
the bald guy, the dude with the
It
cool
was
hat.
Paul. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was the
yeah.
guy that had the hat and was like laying in the there, and he was talking about his
Correct.
mom and shit.
Yeah.
That dude does like a bunch of speeches and shit, and he was talking. Then this other dude comes in. He's like, when he just gets passionate, you could just see you could feel the mycelium running through his blood or some shit like that. You could just feel the mycelium running through him. I'm like,
The
"Whoa."
mycelium.
I was like, holy
I
shit.
said it.
He did say it like that, but you'll know when it comes to that part. It's fucking watch it though. Shit's awesome. I mean, I'm not getting anything for telling y'all, but honestly, fucking fun guy. I'm a fun
I'm
guy.
not getting anything for telling you. Yeah, this is sponsored by Paul Stamets.
This is sponsored by Fun Guy, because I'm a fun guy.
is a fucking idiot.
Call me a mushroom. 'Cause I'm a fun guy.
I'll call you mycelium
Because I'm a fun guy.
because you're a fun guy.
Because I'm a fun guy. I had to give that quick shout out. No, okay. Back to the whole kids shit though. I had to interrupt. It was like he interrupt this program for it was
Mycelium.
definitely one of those.
Mycelium.
The world needed to know how to throw it in there because I just watched it recently. It's on my dome piece right now, and I had to get it out. Yeah, dude, the piece of fucking dome, dude. Dome piece.
Hey, shout out Colin Sexton for hitting a 3 tonight so I can win $75. I needed that. It was absolutely necessary. Merry Christmas.
You won $75.
I won
He's rich.
$75 today.
It's to quit his job.
I'm going to quit. I'm gonna
Full
do it.
time gambling.
I'm going to be a full-time gambler. Sports betting is where it's at, dude. Make no money and never
Just break even at all times, and you'll
Just
never be broke.
never pay it. Never, what's it called? Fucking cash out. Never fucking take your winnings and go home. You always keep betting, dude. That's
Yeah,
how it
I used to
works.
work with a guy. Honestly, fucking hilarious.
Who,
Yeah, dude. He would just like, no. It honestly it wasn't Vic. Vickers does do that. It was Steven. It was Steven. He's like, you never. He's like, you never cash out.
Never cash
You win
out.
money. You take that.
You dump it right
you
back into
bet it
bets.
again. You double your money. He's like, do you cash out? No. You take it and you bet it again. I'm like,
The
"All right."
move is to like set a limit, like whatever you put in, like just set.
He didn't. He would.
just
He was
find
going
it-
hard at all
Not
time.
like a deposit limit, but a withdrawal limit.
Nope.
Like if I win so much,
You pull
that
out,
I
you
get
lose.
this account up to
Never pull out.
500
Never pull out.
or 1,000.
Pull out
or
game,
10,000
gotta be
or
weak.
whatever your metric is. You know what I mean? That's the point where you cash
Nope.
out and you walk away.
Never.
You gotta know when to fold them.
Nope.
'Cause every time you hold them, you're risking
Nope.
losing.
I don't bet. I don't know. I don't gamble, so I can't. I'm not.
Life's a gamble, am I right? Life's enough gamble for you.
You just got to keep betting, dude. You're
You do.
you're like, holy shit! I have 200,000 in my account.
You do have to.
Let me
just
bet
keep
all
betting.
200,000 right now.
It's kind of like whenever you have to get to work and you bet that when you take your car, you won't die. Kind of like that.
I'm taking that bet every day. That
Right.
yeah, hopefully that doesn't
I mean,
happen.
everyone's taking that bet every day, and for most people, it's successful.
Jesus Christ, dude,
some
you're
people
cut
don't-
off, dude. Fuck,
some
dude.
people don't
That's
cash out
rough.
on
This
that
guy,
bet.
this guy is cut off. It's fucked up, dude.
Just saying, life is a gamble. We're all gambling addicts if you like living.
Life is. I'm a server, technically. I guess I do like gambling. Is this table gonna treat me like shit?
Am I gonna get paid any fucking dollars today?
Fucking, am I gonna walk in? Is this table gonna want to make me kill myself? Let's
Am I-
fucking,
Am I walking out with less than $100 on a 12-hour shift?
find out next time. Yeah, I work 12 hours for less than $100. Maybe it's happened.
It has.
It has happened to people. Yeah. Hey, but it's for the love of the game. I don't do it for the money. Am I right?
I mean, I used to tell myself, I've probably said it on the podcast before, but I used to tell myself when I walked into work, like, and it was one of the things that like kept me like able to get through the shift. But like, I just had the understanding that at one point throughout my shift on the floor while I was serving, I was gonna get disrespected at some point. for sure.
Always, yeah, no.
It's either a customer, it's a coworker, manager. Shit, I've gotten disrespected by someone on the phone that called in. It's happened so many different ways. It's unique every time, and it never makes sense. But it's just a part of the game.
No, I've definitely had people come at me for something. I'm like, what do you want me to do about this? This is not my fault. Half the time it has nothing to do with me, and
All the things that like it like not to make this about that, but like all the fucking times where someone complains about something that came out the kitchen, you're like, I put it in correctly, ma'am. I am doing the extent of my job correctly, ma'am. And honestly, the thing that used to be a pet peeve for me is someone that would order something, be sure about their order, and when it came out, they'd be like, "This is the wrong." That's absolutely what you.
yeah, I mean, people don't know what they ordered.
People don't know what they want.
Yeah, that's facts.
I think I'll have an old fashioned. Ma'am, do you like boozy drinks? No, I hate boozy drinks. I love sweet drinks. Okay, so you're not gonna want an old fashioned. I think I'll have an old fashioned. You're not gonna tell me what I want. All right, ma'am, we'll get you an
Oh,
old
you
fashioned.
get them and they hate it. They fucking hate it. And you're just, I fucking knew it, dude. Fucking knew it. They order something and then you bring it to the table. I didn't order that. And you're like, this is what you said. Like, no.
Absolutely
And then the
what you
person
ordered.
next to him was like, that's what you ordered. Like, that's what I ordered. You fucking swear to God, dude.
It just makes you just sit there like, I could throw this.
Oh,
I could throw this across the room. It
fucking
would
people, bro.
mean nothing.
People really just don't. Hey, not all of you. You know, all I'm saying, have some respect for the people around you sometimes.
Serve your servers with good tips.
Yeah, also be kind to them. You don't have to be like super over the top. That's annoying too sometimes. Just
Honestly, if you're
decent.
tipping really well,
No,
you don't
don't
have to
listen.
be nice.
You don't have to do it.
If you're tipping really, really well, you
If you're tip-
don't have to be that nice.
You don't have to be me neither, dude.
I mean, you don't have to be mean, but don't be mean and tip shitty.
I mean, that's like the average though. You know, if they're shitty, you know, half the time you're like, fuck.
As someone who is a server, if you tip me $100, I promise you I would not care about the disrespect that just occurred.
Oh no! After that $100, like, it wasn't that bad. Yeah, I guess it wasn't.
You're only here for an hour. I'll get over it.
That's rare. That don't. If you're listening down, I don't want you to think that is ever like that. Is hardly ever the case. I can't remember the last time that happened. So
Fair.
don't believe that is what's gonna
It's a normal thing.
It's
that
not.
happens.
definitely not.
Definitely happens every single.
All right,
night.
let's talk about
It's
the
not to you.
let's talk about the real shit, dude. Let's get down to fucking
The nitty.
business. Time to crack the nitty gritty, dude. Dude, you gonna hit the gritty? Have you hit the gritty?
I haven't hit the gritty, bro.
Yeah, dude, you gotta hit. I hit the gritty before every podcast, dude. Even
do
though the
not
gritty
hit
was
the
not,
gritty
even though the gritty
before
wasn't
every
made back in the day,
podcast.
dude, I hit the gritty. You got a gritty, dude. I have a one with Ian, my coworker, dude. We started. It's Gridco.
Gridco.
Yeah, dude, we gritty on him. Nitty
Fortune
gritty,
500 company or
nitty gritty. You know what I'm
on
saying?
its way up there. You know,
Do
you
the-
guys going public soon.
Instead of like a McGriddle, we give him the McGritty. You know what I'm saying?
You dickhead.
Yeah, that's what we do. You don't want it, but it's what you get.
You get what you get, and you don't complain. What's
And
the
that's
saying?
the motto of Gridco.
You don't forget. No, what's
I hope
the
there's no
fucking-
place
you
called
don't
Gridco. You get what you get. You don't
quit.
throw a fit.
this.
God damn, dude.
I was like, what is?
You get what you get.
I must have quit.
If the glove does not fit, you get what you get. Looking at us. What the fuck? Nah, anyways, getting down to business. We're talking about the real things that matter here on the Fine and Danny official podcast, dude.
Official.
We're getting down to the real nitty gritty. Yeah.
Real shitty gritty.
But so I don't know if you've noticed. Josh doesn't because he doesn't pay attention to that shit.
I
But
don't.
the red pill movement has been a big talk of the town amongst just social media. Tons of podcasts. They talk about it all the time. And honestly, I think a lot of them just always try to overanalyze every fucking thing all the time. That's one thing that annoys the fuck. That's one thing. Everyone tries to overanalyze it and try to be this fucking genius about the subject.
How funny would it be if, like, right after you say that, like, we just started overanalyzing?
Always
Trying to be a
overanalyze it,
genius
and I just
about the
start throwing
subject.
out fucking big ass fucking words. Just like, I know what I'm talking about,
The
dude.
precipice of this conjecture.
All right, yeah. If anyone said that, I would be like, you're a fucking idiot. I'm not. Someone said the precipice of the conjecture.
precipice of this conjuncture is an absolute
Actually, I'd probably hang out.
heinous crime.
I would have to hang out with them because even if they were a dickhead, they'd be funny. And at the very least, I'd get a laugh every time.
Well, I thank you.
I'd be like, all right, not you, not you. Anybody else though? Nah. So if anyone doesn't know, the red pill community is this whole, the idea of toxic masculinity or anything of the sorts is basically tearing apart, men. It's taking away what it means to be a man, and the society doesn't want us to be a man. That's what they don't.
Society?
Society. Is it here, Bob? Society. Society
Society?
is what they don't want. I can't do it.
Society?
Sorry,
Oi, bro.
it doesn't want you to know.
Oi, bro.
It don't want you to know. Nah, it's alright. I guarantee if a British person does an American accent, it'd be way better.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It always is. Why is it that British singers, like, whenever they sing, they sound American and, like, it sounds, like, perfectly clear?
Honestly, though, what would a British person sound like saying, uh-oh, hey, everybody.
Good point.
That would be great.
So then what's the charade? They learn how to sing in America just because it sounds good and
no.
then they, like, go right back to talking?
Nah, language is just like your draw. So when you sing, it's just like the way like your tongue meets your fucking top of your mouth and shit. Like how you draw your
People
tone
do
out.
sing in other languages.
Yeah, I mean, I think like that's why like when rapping specifically, like you can hear like the British accent a lot more, like UK and shit. You can hear.
That's true.
But like singing, it depends on how what you're singing. If you're singing pop music, I don't. Some voices do, like Adele. Sometimes you
So
can
is
hear it.
like
Not
that,
really.
Like that when you're singing, you're hitting notes and accents don't necessarily come out in those notes. It more the accent itself only comes out in like words. But if that word is hitting a certain note, it might not like show itself.
Maybe, because I mean, when you think of what like people like Bono or fucking Adele,
Fucking,
Harry Styles,
What's his name?
fucking
Ozzy.
Ozzy. Nah, he wasn't British. He just that guy just fucked up
He
on.
wasn't British?
I'm
pretty sure Ozzy Osbourne is British.
Is he, dude? I think he was just fucked up on a lot. That's like the only thing anyone ever knew. Bro. It's fucked up because that was like one of the first few people like we capitalized on him being fucked up. Just
yeah, absolutely capitalized.
oh
on his
shit, bitch,
insanity.
bitch, bloody hell, fucking jizz.
He's not British. So that's got to be like the best like British character.
It says English, so I'd guess that means he is born in England. Yeah. Okay, I'm an idiot. Wait.
You do be an idiot and shit. Doobie, an idiot.
Wait, which Birmingham is this though?
Alabama?
That's what I'm thinking. It says Birmingham. Yeah, no, he's from the UK.
Isn't it crazy that like a lot of
Yeah. The West Midlands of England. Not Alabama. He doesn't give me Alabama Bamian vibes. All aboard! Hop on the crazy train, am I right?
I don't know though, because like I feel like there's different dialects of like country accent. Like I feel like there's your like Louisiana hick accent.
Oh, dude, Southern accents can get wild. But that's the thing though, like Southern accents almost are British. Like it's almost like when you hear like dirty British and country accents, it's like nearly the same.
Not found out. Well, actually, kind of found out. But I was listening to a podcast and they just like kind of skimmed over it. The idea that the Australian accent stems from babies picking up on their drunk fathers. Like basically it was like an English accent that was then like slurred because their fathers were drunk and they thought that's how you were supposed to say.
That'd be awesome.
It's real. That's a real thing.
Over time.
Yes.
Bobby been on Barbie. I don't know, dude. That's fucked up. Yeah. Nah, dude. It's funny because it is English, but it's not. It's its own dialect. It is English, but it's like also. I
don't know, dude.
They also have Aborigine over there too.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
it makes me think of like how poor the American education is, because whenever I think of Australia, I just think of like a kangaroo speaking with an Australian accent. Fucking hobbit, like
Kangaroo
really,
Jack.
I think of Kangaroo Jack. But like the whole island of Australia is just people like doing adventures with fucking wild animals and then talking about it in a fucking bar.
I mean, Australia is just it's the same thing as like here, you know, just with. I mean, it's crazy though. When you think of Australia, you just think of Outback. You think of the Outback at all times. But like the thing is like that's not. Australia has city. Yeah, Australia has. Those fucks, though, that live probably in, like, the country of Australia, those are some weird fucks. I know it for sure. I'm
not taking anything away from that, because every weird
country
place
bumpkin
has
is weird
people type shit.
I mean, people that live out of the country are always weird because they don't have a bunch of people. Like, when you're not around a bunch of people, you can be as weird as you want without fucking
It's kind of the isolation kind of has an effect on time as well.
Oh, shit, if I was by myself, I'd get away with God damn, I'd be, yeehaw! You know what I'm saying? You're hunting for your food and shit. You're like, I got them. And it's just you and your kids. Your kids are going to, you can tell them whatever. And who the fuck, no one gives a fuck.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's why the kids turn out like that too. I mean, I'm not condoning a lot of that, but I understand it.
I mean, I understand it too. My point was, it was just funny that the accent comes from like drunkenness.
It doesn't, I feel like that's probably most of them, right?
I don't know about that.
Probably a good handful.
I don't know.
You know what's crazy is Louisiana though. That's a wild one.
That's a wild, hard to understand sometimes.
Oh, dude, unless like super swamp, fucking speaking motherfuckers.
Go down, take a left, and then you're gonna see a right, and then you're hitting the barn. You've gone too far.
It's like, what the? What the fuck? But they get it. If you speak that shit, you're like, oh nah, dude. Oh yeah, I'm from
you gotta,
that.
Like kind of insert spaces into someone's sentence, if that makes sense.
It's a lot of mumbling too.
It's
like
a lot
the
of
twang,
mumbling and a lot of
twangs.
run-on sentences that like kind of compound together. They're not necessarily compound sentences. They are separate sentences, but they do compound together a little bit. And like it's hard to understand if you don't find the periods and punctuate the words.
Yeah. Also, the twang makes it hard as fuck to understand half the time, dude. That's just like. No, all right. Anyways, but yeah, so the red pill movement essentially is, you know, you're taking away the masculinity away from the man. They don't want, society. What was it? Society. society. But
Scary.
they essentially don't want the man to be what the man's supposed to be. They're taking away what it means to be a man. You know, fucking eating meat and fucking hunting. Not really hunting. Fast cars, women. I don't know what the fast car.
Women make men. Is that what you just said?
Dude, that's dude, that's kind of weird. Like, it's just like they have all these things they say, but essentially it comes down to money and women. Like, that's
what it seems like.
That's what it comes to. Like, they have all these things. They're taking away what it means to be a man, and then somehow it comes down to money and women being super successful. Like the Liver King, when they found out he was a liar and a fucking fraud.
Well, I mean, he
does probably eat a lot of his regimen's.
No, I was gonna say. I mean, he's always a fraud.
Yeah, his regimen's still pretty solid. Like working out, like you still have to do workouts and shit to get that build. So you don't just take the drugs and it forms your body in that way.
But theoretically, also you could have. I don't want to get into it because I don't know exactly the specifics, but you could have like ab implants. You can have fucking a lot of like fat taken out, so certain things look toned, or, like more toned.
It's funny as fuck
so
though.
It's like he does have a good regimen. He is working out and he is eating well to a degree, but he also is having surgeries done and also is having
also
a lot of
fuck that, because he was like, I do have a lot of money in the thing, because he was talking about someone's like, I mean, I do have a lot of money. Fuck you, dude. It's just, you know, it's people that have a lot of money that are trying to tell other people that don't have a lot of money, this is what you do.
It's like, I mean, it's all the get rich quick schemes. It's usually scams,
but it's you know, in a different, it's get rich quick but disguised as something else, and half of it's not even like Liver Kings wasn't get rich quick. It was more get fit,
kind of a get rich quick
for him. Not for, like, he's not selling, he was selling, you know, getting in healthy shape and getting a nice body and getting ripped.
I mean, so it's the same thing. It's like get ripped quick.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean? It's like it's selling a product that is not something you could actually sell, and acting like you're the person that knows the fastest path to getting to that product.
And then, I mean, then you have people, you know, Andrew Tate specifically.
I don't want to have to go there.
But, you know, he's still popping up, dude. I mean, he's good at marketing. I'll give him that, you know, just keeping his name interested. I mean, all you got to do is talk shit these days, really. But, you know, he talks about the Matrix all the fucking time. And then, you know, they don't want me. This is what you don't want you to know. Here's a link. Click that link and I'll make you a top G.
Right.
Bro, what? What are you talking about, dude? Why do I need to click a fucking link? Look, all you need to do, figure out what works best for you. We've said this so many times. It's different for everybody. Working, you know, having some kind of health routine to a degree, it's going to help you out. It's tough to do that. Figure out start small, do shit like that. Fucking if reading's going to help you, if taking certain courses, not shit ones, you know, that they're offering.
Right.
But actual courses run by, you know, legitimate professors and shit.
Correct. Take
actual, like, stuff that's going to help you get where you need to go. I mean, it's not like a fucking specific. Everyone wants to drive fast cars and have women, I guess, or in a men's point of view. But my point being is that this whole idea is always either just, it's two sides. Either people who really hate the movement, you know, everyone who thinks they're above the Andrew Tates and thinks they're above fucking Liver King, you know, and thinks they have, this whole fucking it fits in that whole anti-establishment movement too. You know, those same people who hate
kind of. But
well, most of the people that hate Andrew Tate and hate Liver King also hate on people like Lex Fridman or Joe Rogan.
That's fair.
But how can you even put all of them together? I'm not saying you have to agree with everything either of those people say, but to lump all those people together. It's just that this whole idea is either you're extreme hate against them and anything that associates with something like that, or you're extreme for them, and it's this whole.
Well, it doesn't even have to be a position on them. They've become so polarizing as people.
It's a movement.
It's whatever you like, regardless of the movement. Just like these people's personas have become so polarizing that you could not even really have a point and just say one of their names, and people could start demonizing you as a supporter or a hater or whatever the case may be. You could literally not make a stance on one of these people. talking
Oh.
about and still be seen as someone making a stance
That's
on
why-
these people
yeah.
that we're talking
This is
about.
where I'm at. So I've seen a lot of people recently, especially, go on Twitter, post about Andrew Tate and Trump, basically saying if you follow any of these people, I'm unfollowing you. I just did an unfollow cleanse, and I cleared my followers of all the people that were following these people. Like, who cares?
I mean, can we talk about like the fact that
I don't care.
none of this shit matters?
That's
Like,
where I'm like, I don't give a look. I don't follow either of those people. Am I gonna go through my followers?
I don't follow politics, but I know for a fact that if Trump runs again, he's probably gonna win.
More than likely.
And so, like, I'm not someone who thinks that we have control over this voting shit. I'm someone who kind of understands that there are bigger powers in play than just the idea that we can create a third party and make it all make sense again, and we can all make America. Fuck, none of that shit's real, bro. People are just trying to make money, and we are the people that they make that money off.
That's
of.
100%. It just doesn't. It's funny because it's just everyone puts their energy into. If you follow that, I'm dude. Who cares? Do you think those people give a fuck? Honestly,
There's ridiculous shit on both sides of it.
no.
because-
That's what. Yeah, exactly.
I'm just saying, like, there's ridiculous shit on both sides of it, because for the same amount of people that are out here saying that if you don't support Trump, then you are obviously fucking, what's the word I'm looking
A
for?
slave to the matrix.
Slave to the matrix. Like, you're giving into the government. You're doing, like, you're basically like a fucking pawn to the greater establishment's fucking chess.
You're not a
board
free
type
thinker
shit. You're
type
not a
shit.
free thinker. But if you do fuck with Trump, then you're a racist and a misogynist and all these things. And it's like, this is a person we're talking about, a person that represents a fucking administration. Isn't the administration. He's doing almost no work behind the scenes.
fuck
He's
no.
fucking tweeting, drinking Diet Cokes, and fucking finding new ways to be silly, but that's about it. He's not on the front lines finding new ways to draw up policy and finding new ways to get it through Congress and the House. He's fucking meeting with Kim Kardashian to do pardons, which is cool. I appreciate that. I'm pardoning people that aren't like wrongly in prison. I'm with that 100%. I think that project type shit, like, all of those people are wrongly convicted for crimes should definitely be.
That is definitely though, like
released from jail.
that is some
That is
simulation
probably
ass
the
shit. Kim
only
Kardashian
thing-
meeting up with Donald Trump to be like,
Probably the only
Photo
notable
op.
thing I could say that Trump actually did that I care about. Don't support him, don't care about him, but I know that if he comes up on the ballot again, Biden's not beating him. Like,
oh fuck no, dude, that dude's losing all votes.
I'm just saying, it's fucking silly. We live in a silly time, and people put all these expectations on, like, it should be like this. It maybe should be, but that's your perspective.
Yeah, I was leaning more. Yeah, I mean, for sure, I was leaning more towards the fact that like how these guys are leading a whole movement, but also they're not really leading. I get because
Yeah.
people do look up. It's weird because people do get on the internet. They look up to him, and they inspire some of the youth.
And that's
It sucks.
That's to be expected.
Yeah,
though.
it does. I mean, it's not that much different than kids having no guidance and still growing up with nowhere
I had
no outlet.
I had a question, like, not like a question. It was those questions that you have with, like, in your mind where you're like, I can't ask this because it sounds stupid, but it kind of does have like a deeper meaning behind it type shit. Like, I was thinking to myself, I was like, when do people stop being impressionable? Like, people talk about how impressionable kids are. It's like, well, at what age do you stop being impressionable? Do you ever stop being impressionable, or do you ever, like, when does that mark? Is it an age marker, or is it a maturity marker? Is it a life experience marker? Or when does that moment hit where you are no longer as easily impressionable? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Because we always talk about how kids are super impressionable. It's like, well, maybe you are too, motherfucker.
100%. I mean, to a smaller scale as you get older, not for everybody, but for like a fair amount of people, you're still going to be inspired, or
Right.
like maybe grasp encouragement from certain people.
But you do have, like, more of an inclination to, like, have resistance. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not as easily gonna see someone like a Superman on Saturday morning and be like, "Oh my God, look, there's my hero," or some shit like that. You know what I mean? I might have questions
Oh,
or
yeah.
some resistance to say like maybe this isn't real or something like that. You know what I mean? Like you could break things down a little bit more and have like less of a suspension of disbelief than when you once did.
Yeah.
Type shit.
I mean, because
But like when does that moment hit?
it's weird because they say it's more for kids. At some point, I think there's might be different points for different people because there's going to be a
Right.
certain point when you come out of childhood because you've experienced a lot more, so there's less surprising experiences as there were when you were
Right.
learning. I mean, and then there's still a point I think in adulthood where we're still figuring things out. So you're kind of getting adjusted to what the real world is.
Yeah.
And for some people, they don't ever really get to experience a lot of any of that. So, I mean, they go into adulthood and they probably still just think, oh, these people, this is the right way to do things because
Right.
what's going around me is kind of what I'm given and kind of what I've been given my whole life. So they are probably still impressionable. I think it does depend on your environment and how it goes. Also, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I do that a lot.
You know what I mean? I'm sorry. It's just funny. It's funny. You said, I was like, have I been saying it? You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
No, but it's fucking it's just weird because it's this idea that these people. I mean, the kids are impressionable, and there's also people our age, going back to what you
Yeah.
said, that are impressionable by these things. But
People older than us that are
Still
impressionable.
yeah.
People that are in their
That are-
70s that are being impressionable
Yeah.
by like politics and things like
yeah,
that.
oh,
like
especially that. I think it's weird though
religion and things like that.
how the idea of people trying to say that we're losing what it means to be a man, or whatever. I don't know. The idea of what it means to be a man, it doesn't. Like I was telling you, I think there is a balance in any household or whoever you're around, like masculine and feminine energy. You know what I mean? Or what we label as such. Energy is energy. We put labels on whatever that is. And the idea of masculine and feminine energy, I think there does need to be a balance in whatever there is. You know what I mean? Too much of one thing or too much of another, I think might not be as healthy. Because in any household, you need someone who, if not both, I think both parties should be able to somewhat be able to fend for themselves or be able to take care of the family. You know what I mean?
Right.
It just so happens our traditional values, the man is the one who physically goes out and does stuff, brings home the food, or it goes like hunting or, defends the family, whatever that may be. And then
Mhm.
the mother figure is, of course, the one that nurtures and raises essentially the kids, you know what I mean?
There
Looks out
are-
for them.
And it's like we have these like inclinations to say that, and I'm not trying to come off as someone who's transphobic because I'm gonna say what I'm about to say, but there are gender roles whenever you're talking about like a family orientation. Like there are a role that like that's why like single parent households do have like struggles in the development of the kid, not just because sometimes the parent has to work jobs so they're not around as much, but because that kid is being deprived of the having
but
whether it's the mother or the father.
That goes back. I think it's not the role.
Because I mean that
it
role
goes-
can be filled by the other
I'm
parent.
saying I think it's
but
more of like what we label as masculine and feminine. I think it's more that than what it is of
I
like a
do hear what
gender
you're saying,
role.
though,
You
but
know what I
I do
mean?
think that those
Because you could have whatever case may be. If you have that balance in the household, someone who
Right.
is more of a masculine energy. You know what I mean? Defending, like going out. Whether it could be the man could be a feminine ass fucking dude. You know what I mean? Who's
Right.
with a masculine ass woman, and the woman is the one that goes out and takes care of shit. I mean, it's gonna be the kid's gonna grow up like thinking differently than what we view as whatever.
right.
But I think they'll still grow up productive because they have someone who's defending the household, someone who's going out and taking care of, someone who's showing them how
Right.
to be a sturdy human being. While you also have someone who's there to nurture them, take care of them, someone who shows them how to get in touch with their emotions.
Right.
It's just those two sides of
And
that.
so-
You know what I
and
mean?
so
Rather
what I meant
than,
by that is
than like,
isn't that the dual parent household has to be like a heterosexual relationship. That's why I said single parent households have struggles with
Yeah.
that. Because there are gender roles in like raising a household family, and whether you say that can be flip flop, that is true.
Yeah.
You can have two men in a household raising a child. One man can bring on the motherly energy, and one man fatherly energy, but still you have a dual household. And regardless of what those genders are being what those gender roles are being filled by, whether you're filling that role was a motherly role or fatherly role, when mother tended to be female because they were giving birth to the child.
That's fair.
So
It's just a natural.
biologically speaking, the gender roles comes from a motherly fatherly thing, and that stems from an actual biological thing. So if not to go down that road, because I honestly don't have a opinion on it. I mean, I want everyone to have live their truth and be the best person that they can possibly be without society dragging them down in any way possible.
Yeah.
I have no like inclination, but my position on it is that like if you came up in a single parent household, you typically have a harder, not because just because of the absence at home, but also the certain roles that you aren't being filled.
It's also, yeah. I mean, and that's in any case, whatever role is
Right.
not being filled. Yeah,
That's
and
what I-
that is also that's. I mean, that I guess that is why some people try to say, people are growing up weak, and I think it is to do with a lot of us working and stuff. People being away because they're at work and or like that balance not being there, or someone, because a lot of us didn't grow up in a way to where we
And I
learned.
think the weakness thing is just more of like a.
I mean, like weak or sensitive. People where they
No,
say like
I
more
know.
sensitive. Yeah.
But I think but that's what I was gonna say. And I'm glad you said that because that makes my point a little bit better. It's like I think the weakness thing is kind of stemming from like having all of your problems solved for you. Not all. Everyone still has problems, but you no longer have to hunt for your food. You no longer have to worry about getting sick, and that meaning that you die at 17. You don't die from the flu as much anymore. You don't. I mean, obviously there's cases, but you don't. There are new developments every day to solve problems that you no longer have to solve as a human being ever again. Some of these things will continually be solved for you always now because of certain institutions and
Yeah.
things that are established. Like,
And I get it. I get where the traditional views do come from. Back in the day, like predating even like modern civilization.
mhm,
Back when people were still hunting for food and shit.
mhm.
Like you would like a lot of tribes and shit. You had to be prepared for war. You had to be ready to defend your livelihood at a young age. That's what you had to grow up fast. You had to go out there. You had to be able to provide for your family, and whatever that case may be. Whether you're going out and getting berries or whether you were a hunter, or And then the fact of the matter was, we based off of women. A lot of women did go off of who was going to provide for their family better.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You getting the strong, powerful, whatever the case may be, hunter in the village. Maybe you're getting a prince, like not a prince, but like whatever the leader of the tribe is. Maybe potentially,
Right.
if that's the case, or the king. I don't, any type of person in power
what's
at that
crazy
point.
for me, like going off of that, is like honestly, it makes me think about like how much of an echo chamber we live in, because there are people to this day that live in hunter-gatherer societies in certain parts of the.
That is true.
So like, I mean, even with the society that we live in and as modern at times as we've gotten, fucking going to space, fucking electric cars, all these different like things that we think we're elevating on, there are still people on this same planet as us that are in thousands of years ago by our terms of like when we were a hunter-gatherer
Yeah.
society. So like, theoretically speaking, it's like, how much are we just in our own heads? You know what I mean? How much do we are just like cycling in our own echo chambers?
And I get it. See, this is why I wanted to bring it up, is because there's always people on either side. I think there's different fits for everybody. Some people do like stronger, bigger type of people. Some people do like more feminine type of people. It's just the problem with people that hate or are for that thing. They're so on either side of it. They're blind to the fact it's, yes, okay, there was a point in time where our purpose was to be like not caretakers, more in the nurturing factor, but you're there to take care of your
Mhm.
family,
Right.
or possibly the village. You
Right.
had to be ready at all points in time, and like you said, our problems are taken away now to fill this void. It's weird because as a man, regardless, like you're gonna have that feeling. It's that instinct in you. It's hard to just get rid of years of fucking genetics just like
Well,
that.
It's
Like,
also hard to get rid of society. Like society's built in certain ways to
Yeah.
make you think you have to do like a schedule. schedule never existed in hunter-gatherer societies.
Well, to a degree they did, but not like
I mean, not
timely. It
really.
wasn't timely.
No,
It was
they
just
woke up on a. I mean, they woke up on a schedule. Like it was a kind of a same time every day type of thing. But what I'm saying is that they weren't like, all right, at 3:00 today we're
Yeah,
gonna go out on a
that's not-
hunt and we're gonna get back at 6, and then we're gonna try to cook everything, have everybody to bed by 9. We'll be up by 6
Yeah.
in the morning, get another hunt done.
it's
you know,
mostly
you know.
get done by the
No,
time the sun goes down type of
exactly.
vibe. Yeah.
You rise with the sun. You connect with everybody before you go out on your hunt or your gathering route or whatever. You come back, you bring back everything that you were able to do in that days of work. You share it with your tribe, and then you move forward into the next day. But like that, what I'm saying is a schedule in itself is a societal thing people can't break.
Yeah.
I gotta be there at this time. It's like, no, you think that you do because so that you can get to your next place on time, get to your bed on time, wake up on time, so you can do this on time. But it's like none of that shit is real. None of that shit is an actual existent thing. You're just telling yourself you're in this societal cycle that you have to do this.
Yeah.
I have. If I don't, then I'm not gonna get enough sleep, and then I'll be tired all day tomorrow, and then I won't be able to work. Like you're in your head about some shit that doesn't exist yet, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that goes back to if you really get a jump on things, you can create. The idea is to be free and create your own schedule.
right.
A schedule that works off of just however you feel fit during that day, rather than let me work off of this schedule that's unrealistic, that's really unproductive when you think about it. It's funny too, because Andrew Tate's whole thing is, go against the Matrix, but the fact is he's making it. Oh, fuck, I go brain dead so often. It's fucking.
I mean, I see.
He idolizes like
Yeah.
fast cars and women and getting rich and getting swole and being able to do this and that. What it means to be a man is like that is exactly what they like. That's the whole thing.
That's the Matrix.
That's what they're selling you. That's what
Yeah.
everyone's selling you is you want to be rich and fucking be able to do whatever you want.
Right. Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, I think the idea of being a man, don't get me wrong, is partially, of course, you do need to kind of have that quality of taking care of the things around you. But that's any adult. That's
Right.
anybody.
right.
You should be able to take care of your business as well as your loved ones around you. And even, hopefully get to a volatile point where you're able to help your community.
right.
That, as any human being, should be a thing that we kind of work towards. That altruistic energy
Yeah.
of being able to help ourselves, then the nearest people around us, and then on a larger scale,
Mhm.
working towards that. And that's anybody. If you have a family, what your job is to protect. It doesn't matter whether you're the mother or the father. And it's
That's
dividing
true.
those roles amongst each one. It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
It's just, we get so caught up in this is what it's supposed to mean. Don't get me wrong. And to a degree, yes, you should take care of yourself. You should take care of your loved ones.
Right.
You should work on all that stuff. You should work on just improving yourself. If money's what you want, work towards that. But that's not what it means for everyone.
See, what's weird for me is that like whenever someone gets so worked up about their thought process or beliefs or systems of thought on your life, you know what I mean? Like, I believe in God, and in the Bible it says that people shouldn't be gay, so therefore I don't like gay people. How did you get to that? You know what I mean? Like, you believe in God, so your beliefs are around this. So now that's going to lead to action. How did you get there? How did you get here? This is a belief system. You are in knowing, but whatever. If you're a Christian, you know there are other religions. You know there are other belief systems.
It's fear.
Exactly. But I'm saying is like that that weird thought process that leads a person to put their belief systems, say that you can't do this because I believe it's wrong.
It is funny. This is where I'm always kind of at a cross path. Like, it's
That's how you say that.
yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I go brain dead sometimes. My bad.
Crossroads.
Crossroads was what I was definitely trying to say. Thank you, sir. It was a long day at work. Not really, actually. I got out pretty early. Yeah. But this I don't know. We didn't say this, but we haven't done a late night podcast in a while. This is the first time we've done like a late night podcast in a long time. We used to do them all the time. We do them earlier in the day now since we're adults
and shit.
Yeah, so we used to do them all the time, but now we don't really do them. So this is definitely different, a little switch up, but still awesome. Yeah, Yeah, dude, it's a vibe for sure. Late night latte, dude. Have some good, yeah, whatever. All right. Anyways, fucking is like in that skit with fucking Shane Gillis, where he was like, could you imagine having a fucking MSNBC dad, dude? You want a Fox News dad? Not entirely, but part of me gets it. You know, someone who's gonna help you to defend yourself and fucking
Someone
that manly man who's just like, I'm gonna teach you how to use tools and fucking fix your car. Those people are. I didn't have that.
Right.
Those people are important. You fucking able to take care of yourself is fucking awesome. But then also on the other hand, it doesn't hurt to have someone who's like, I'm gonna teach you how to cook and do all that shit too. You know.
I hear you.
But I like they don't have to be. Where I'm at is that just goes back to also just, you know, taking care of yourself and trying to be a productive member of society.
I'm a like not a perfect example, but I'm a big proponent of like, who the fuck cares? Like, do what you want, man. Like, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
don't fucking hurt anybody. Don't hurt yourself. But outside of that, why should we have limitations? I understand why we have laws. I don't understand why we have limitations. What is the limitation that you are setting upon yourself? What is the limitation your job is setting upon you? What is the limitation? Like, there are people in certain jobs that are told not to work so hard so that the reports don't look like, you know what I mean? Don't rock the boat type shit. It's like there is limits in these things that we have in life, while people like Andrew Tate will talk about how you can live a limitless life without talking about how difficult it is to break out of the fucking matrix. That
I mean, he does say that sometimes.
but
though.
he doesn't. He says it. He doesn't talk about what it means for an average human being to actually do that.
Yeah, that's true.
It's nice to have nice cars. It's great watch, dude. Cool cigar. I'm really feeling the energy that you're giving off.
That shit is
but
so
I still
funny.
have
though.
to go clock into my 12-hour job, 12-hour shift job, and I still have to pay my alimony and pay my child support. So you telling me all this shit about how I can just lock in and change my life? Thank you. But that's not a path to success. That's just fucking beautiful words that are put together in a sentence to drive a soundbite to get some views so you can sell your shit and make more money to buy a fucking jet, while I will dream of having a jet and will never even see one. I'll never even see one in the distance unless I'm seeing it fly across the sky with a fucking trail of smoke that's destroying our environment coming off of it. And just like, it's just absolutely, you're just like sitting there like, all right, so I have to listen to these people talk about this shit because it's all over the internet. It's that people are sending me videos. It's the first thing on my feed. It's like, all I have to do is sign into the internet just to have shit thrown in my face that I'll never have money like this. And it's not that you really won't. You really could aspire to come out of technology or industry or whatever you put your foot forward and actually come out of. You could get a jet one day. Who the fuck knows?
When shit happens like it all the time, where I know people who I just invested money and that shit blew up.
Right.
I mean, not saying it. Once again, that's not gonna happen for everybody.
My point is that like whenever you're having these things thrown in your face every day, it's a lot harder. Not necessarily a lot harder to work for them. It's a lot harder to actually have that like dream, like in my opinion, because it seems like it's kind of like an analogy to where like if you're a fucking if you're like a pitcher for baseball and you just like your fucking coach every time you go into practice is just sending you videos of just MLB pitchers. You're not him. You're not him. You're not him.
That's how.
You're not him. You're not this guy. Hey, keep working, but you're not gonna be this guy. This guy's getting paid $260 million, not you. You know what I mean? It's like it's that weird energy of like, look what I have. You could have it too, but I know that's not why I'm doing this.
It's like, what do you really want? I mean, we talk about this all the time. Just go back. Yeah, what do you? Because you look at all that stuff, and you think it's gonna make you happy because of all this other shit that makes you feel like that's what you're supposed to do to be happy. Once again, you know, okay, what does it mean to be a man? A lot of us lose that because we're not doing the same shit we were doing thousands of years ago, hundreds of years ago.
It helps you like have no appreciation for what you do actually have.
Exactly.
You have no appreciation for the things in your life because you're constantly being told what you should want or what you should have, what a man should be, what a man is in society, what a man has been across history. Like, I'm sorry, I must have missed it. I know that they like talk about it in detail, but I must have missed the idea that we have all of the
Yeah.
that we,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All of his cars and had oh, all of history.
Because that's what they is, and that's because that's why the traditional people are like, I had to do it. It's like that sucked, dude. This, like, but the thing also was that you could work a 9 to 5 and afford a house. You can't even do fuck that shit. I can't even do that now, you fuckers.
It's kind of like that.
You can, but like not
I mean,
not the same.
it's kind of like the idea that like there's no ownership in the future type shit. Like everything's rented out and leased out and shit like that. Even your most precious services like Twitter and Instagram and all the things that you've used over time to build your business and build your brand are now going to be at cost so that these businesses can continue to make profits even whenever there's no more ad campaigns and things like that they can actually run, because people are getting their ads in different ways now. If whether you're talking about like Neuralink and shit like that, like once you get to that level, like I don't know how much ad revenue these companies will be able to make if the ads will just be going directly towards that technology.
Just thinking about it too. It's it's funny because people talk about how people with a lot of money and shit tend to be less happy. Think about this: when you can get pretty much anything you want for the most part. If I surprise you with 2 tickets to go to whatever, you're like, awesome.
Right.
Like you're like, oh, thank you, but it's not like adverse to like if we both know we're both broke as shit.
Right.
And I was working my ass off, like, holy shit, you got us tickets?
Right.
What the fuck?
Right.
Let's go. And then both of you enjoy the fuck out of that shit because you're like, dude, I'm not gonna be like, and that's a moment. That's like a moment right there. That's like something that's a core memory adverse to just I get whatever I want.
Yeah.
And everyone aspires for this shit. And the thing is, what can I do to get more money instead of what do I enjoy doing or what's something I can work towards and make shit happen. I can still put once again, what's the work you have to put in to get there?
Right.
Dude, I want like following so many aspiring like musicians, or I don't know if you can call them DJs, producers.
I would call them musicians.
Producers. Some of them play instruments. Some musicians.
Is that what defines a musician?
I don't know these days. I guess a producer would still be a musician.
I don't know. Honestly,
Sound coordinator, dude. Fuck, I don't know. The point is,
with how with
a lot of them talk about like how hard it is to even just get good at the craft, and on top of that, market yourself. It takes a good 5 to 10 years to even get anywhere you'd like to be.
most industries,
That's
yeah.
fucking.
Yeah.
You try grueling over this shit day in and day out. You have to enjoy what you're doing to not quit. To keep doing it. People think that's their job. You need a second job half the time.
Yeah.
To provide for the job you're not making shit on. Like you have to treat it like that's your job, but also still have another job that is your job.
Right. And that can be like mentally grueling, like in the way that like you can start losing focus on one or the other. One pays your bills, so you can't lose focus on that, and the other one is paying your future, so you can't lose focus on that either. But as soon as you start taking your pulse off one, you start putting it on the other, and you're like, oh shit, I don't know how to manage that. You know what I mean? It can get really squirrely because a lot of people end up either losing their jobs because they're putting too much focus into something else. And that's not the end of the end of the world, you know what I mean? You can find another job, but it's a setback nonetheless, because that you do have to set more focus into work life now that you no longer have money coming in. But on the flip side, a lot of people lose track of their dreams and give up and don't do their art or whatever they create. And
Dude,
just,
if I hit $1 million at 60, I'd call it successful. Fuck it.
yeah, what the fuck?
But that's the thing is everyone just gives up. People give up by the time they're what? Most of the time, like, this is my life now, whatever. You can still hit $1 million later and be a millionaire. and say, honestly, I mean, that's not like that much these days, but I mean, a lot of us don't get to see a million, you know?
Yeah.
A lot of us still wonder what a million would be like.
Well, I mean, we broke it down before. But I mean, the way that I've thought about it is that success is, I guess, what you kind of put your mind to. It's not always going to be monetary. It's not always going to be like achievement based. It's not always going to be value based, but success does matter. You know what I mean? In whatever field you're in, like, you don't have to be a millionaire. You don't have to fucking be top number one chair.
Top
in-
G.
What's the what's the school that's like very like world renowned in New York? Juilliard. You don't have to be the first chair at Juilliard type shit. In whatever instrument you play, you don't have to be the best on the market, but to be able to.
Isn't Juilliard a dancing school or acting?
don't know which one
Juilliard's
it
an
is.
acting school, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
There's one that's a music school up there that's really famous. I don't know. You'll find it. But essentially, you don't have to be the best at whatever you're doing. You just have to do your best and give respect to your craft to the point that you feel successful in whatever you're doing. Whether that's music, dance, art, podcasting.
Berkeley.
No,
Berkeley's for sure. He is fucking.
not the one I was thinking.
Berkeley's a fucking huge music
Does
school.
Juilliard not have music? I'm pretty sure Juilliard has music.
Okay, that's it. Yeah. It says Juilliard. Yeah.
All right.
I thought Juilliard
thank
was
you for
like
correcting me for no reason. You
a,
shit.
You're welcome. I was thinking Berkeley. Berkeley was for sure the one I was thinking of, but
Isn't that in California then?
no. Berkeley's in Boston.
Oh, I was definitely not what I was thinking of at all.
Fucking Juilliard.
But yeah, my point is that at any point you don't have to be the best at what you're doing. You just have to do your best to the point that you feel proud, you feel successful, and continue doing it. I mean, it's the idea that, like, if you do anything long enough, you'll become a master at it, and if you master anything, eventually you can monetize that mastery. It shouldn't be what you are in it for, but at the end of the day, if you cook every day for the rest of your life, eventually you'll know a lot of recipes.
Was it? I don't know. Who was it? Wait. It was like the quote, like, if you find, like, think about what you would want to do with your life if money didn't exist.
Right. Oh, that is Alan Watts.
That's all I want. Find out what you would want to do if money didn't exist, and just do that until you're good at it.
Right.
Basically.
I think that, like, that's who I was quoting, because I think he talks about, like, when you're good at it, you'll be able to master it, and once you master it, you could, like, not, he didn't use the word monetize, but he said, I think he said you can support a business off of it or something like that. I don't remember the exact quote.
Yeah, it is Alan Watts, yeah. But it's just like, find out what you would do. Honestly, that quote sat, like, I think I saw that quote first when I was like 13 or 14. That's just sat with me forever.
I mean, because the idea is that money already doesn't exist.
It's made up. It's
Yeah.
just, we surround ourselves so. It blows my mind every day because it's just, I have to reevaluate what matters in life
Right.
every day.
I mean,
I have to take back and reevaluate what my priorities are and what matters in life at that moment, because it's so much bullshit
But again,
that we believe that matters.
That's a portion of, like, the societal, like, cycles that we're stuck in. You know
Like,
what I mean?
what
Like,
is some people just be complaining or tell me that I need to do something. Like, the fuck are you talking about?
right.
This shit doesn't matter. Like, it
Yeah.
does matter to an extent I guess, in the grand scheme, but not, like, you know what matters? My relationships with the people around me. You know what matters? Is loving not necessarily just what I'm doing, but enjoying the moments I have.
Mm-hmm.
You might not get another one.
Yeah.
I saw a tweet today. I don't know how true it is. I saw it a couple times, actually. We only have 600,000 hours total, average, in our lifespan. Not that it doesn't, like, when you put it like that, it doesn't seem, I mean, it's a lot of hours.
But it's finite.
Yeah,
It ends.
it does.
Comes to an end.
And your hours are just counting down as
Mhm.
time goes by.
That movie, fucking In Time, with Justin Timberlake.
Yeah. Timberlake, dude.
It's a dope concept. I mean, it's kind of fucked up, but I mean,
Dude, Arrival was a fucking dope concept. I know
That's
it's
true.
completely different, like, vibes, but
definitely different vibes.
just the idea of, like,
and
time.
definitely different concepts. But
Both about time, regardless.
Well, the concept from In Time was like when you're born, you have like a countdown type shit.
Yeah.
Until your 21st birthday, I think, or 25th birthday, I think it was.
Yeah.
And the currency in the world is time. So I believe it's you work for more time, time for services. I believe that was the concept.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what we do
It's
now.
kind of a fucked up concept, but it's kind of a crazy like concept. It is kind of what we do now. I mean, you aren't being paid $17 an hour. You're being paid whatever you would accept for that amount of time. You decided $17 an hour was acceptable for your 8 hours shift.
And the thing is, too, I mean, with inflation and shit, even like in the movie, you know,
Correct.
you're getting, because the inflation happened in the movie where things costed more.
Right.
So you're not getting paid any more time, but this now costs
Extra time. Right.
So, but the thing is, in real life, as things go up in money, you're working, having to work
hours for the same services and goods.
right?
Yes.
Because that price it's fucking ridiculous.
Correct. And that's what I'm saying is, like, I mean, we insert money into that equation, but it is the reality. Like, whenever you're spending $1,000 on a new iPhone, you're spending that amount of time that it took you to earn that $1,000. That is what you're spending. You're not spending $1,000 because that doesn't exist. That's not a real.
That is crazy. It's a crazier way to put it. It's a wilder way to think about it.
It almost like kind of gives you
like, why would I get this? I spent all this time for this.
It gives you a little bit more of an appreciation for, well, two things. It makes you think of the appreciation that people have for the things that they buy with their own money.
Yeah.
And it makes you think about the people that are given money and don't earn it. You know what I mean? Like, if I pass down my money to you, kid, I'm now passing down the time that it took me to earn this. You did nothing for that time.
Almost like wasted time.
My time. It's not necessarily wasted because you can use this to do whatever. You probably will waste it because you don't know what it means to have it. But beyond that, it's kind of a crazier concept. You're literally like passing down your spent time to another person.
But I think about life like that a lot. Anyways, just it's weird because I feel like I'm not everywhere all the time. Which I mean, some people could consider it wasted. Just like it was the homie's birthday this past Monday, and he said some people said it was too far. It's the homie's wedding a couple weekends ago, and he said some people said it was too far. It was an hour and a half for a wedding,
right.
Motherfucker. Shit, I would have drove 4 hours for the wedding. 5 hours. I would have flown if it was somewhere. I would have prepared. You know what I mean? I would have been there. See the homie get married. You know what I mean? Or just like the homie's birthday, he invited me. I'm not saying there wasn't like that many people there, and he's like, yeah, some people just said it was too far. So it was like 45 minutes. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's out of the way. It was a Monday. I get it. You know, it's tough. We're getting older. It's a whole thing, but it's
people
just
are bitches.
Yeah. It's just weird because it's just for me, it's these moments we have with each other that is important. I always have time to spend time and make moments with people I want to be around. Like I don't give a fuck, and it's just some people just don't have time for anything. We've said that a lot too. It just, for me, the moments that we have and the moments that we're able to share with each other are more important than mostly anything, dude, because that's all we have.
Yeah.
All we have is these moments.
Yeah.
Like when you look back on life, what do you look back on?
I mean, not to like get like outside of what we're talking about, but a thought experiment I like to toy with is like the idea that if we are all God's children, then we are like a descendant of what you would call a god. At that level, if the creation of the universe was just this godlike being creating the universe out of loneliness, who's to say that we aren't particles of this God mind, brain, embodiment, whatever it is necessarily. And our pure purpose is to fulfill that creation reasoning, which is to no longer be lonely, connect with each other. We are all part of the same being, that our only existence, the meaning for our existence is only to experience what it means to connect with one another.
Nature's so random, it's not random, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Right.
We say a lot, chaos is the only true form of order. It's not chaotic, though. It's it's nature. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Nature runs accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
It all flows together the way it's supposed to. Like, it
Well,
has a
because-
natural flow, and we, for some reason, go against that shit every fucking time. Like,
It's easy to go against it, you know what I mean? And maybe that's because of some other things we've been talking about like societal things, like people that are in control of certain things, place things in certain places, so that you do get distracted or so that you do get off path or off course from whatever you should be doing. You know what I mean? That's why it's so easy to scroll on TikTok instead of doing your laundry. But it's so easy to fucking just chill on the couch and watch football instead of going to the gym. You know what I mean? Like, there are things in place for us to bypass the things we should be doing. And those things are so mainstream that they seem normal. They seem NFL Sunday ticket. Get your NFL Sunday ticket because Sundays are for the NFL. No, they're fucking not. But they have such a stronghold on the market that, yeah, they fucking are. A lot of businesses have wing deals or pizza deals on Sundays or beer deals or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, there's a market built around a market because society has just agreed upon that market. It's like the companies that come and go, that like a fucking kiosk at the mall that sell phone cases. Like, that is a market built around a fucking market. You know what I mean? Like, we have just all agreed that we have to have phones, therefore we have to have phone cases.
I still don't have a case.
I don't have one either. But
People get on my ass consistently, and for that very reason, fuck you. If my phone fucks up, it's my fault. I'm not gonna get one because you told me to get one, and I haven't had one for over a year, and there's no cracks in my fucking, knock on wood, no cracks in my fucking phone. And
my shit is super cracked. But
fuck, holy shit.
My shit is super cracked. But I still don't have a case. You know why? Because I'm anti-establishment, baby.
But you own he's like, but I own a phone and a computer and all these things. But
fuck the establishment.
I enjoy nice things, but fuck the shit that makes me feel like I gotta buy it.
I enjoy being paid, but money isn't real, and fuck capitalism.
I mean, I don't enjoy, like, it's not the payment that gets me. It's like, oh, fuck yeah, I get to
It's
live.
what I can do. I can exist. I can eat.
That's
I can drink water.
Yes, that's more so. Yes, I can sustain my body for a little bit longer to get through this.
That is the one.
That's what.
Because I mean, that's all we're doing. We're just getting through it, man.
Yeah, dude.
Just getting through it, man.
Fucking mycelium.
We're just getting through it like Rob Dyrdek in a glass door.
Good one. Good one. Fucking throwback if you've seen fucking Fantasy Factory. RIP Big, dude.
RIP Big as fuck.
All right. We'll wrap it up there. It's been a great episode. Had a lot of fun. Thank you for tuning in, you guys.
You're a god. Tap into your god mentality and be a god. Signed, Joshua Mario.
You can do it, dude. Let the mycelium flow through your body, dude.
Doofles.
Let the fungi and the mushrooms
Incorporated. Doofles Smirts Incorporated.
Doofles.
Do we need like a theme song?
We'll come up with one. Like
theme song.
Is this news? Is this fucking breaking? Breaking news. Doofles.
We interrupt this program for live Doofles entertainment.
Lovely. All right, thank you guys. Love you guys. Tune in next week. Hopefully, we'll have one for you. Y'all stay beautiful out there. Show some compassion. Show some love.
Keep one for you.
Yeah, show some love. Show some compassion. Treat those around you with some respect. Keep pushing towards your goals and have fun out there, guys.
You do it.
Take care. We'll catch you next time.
Have fun.